Hey everybody, so today we have some short notes. The notes are going to be on like terms and identifying like terms. Let's go ahead and write down lesson go 421, identify like terms. And some of these, we have quite a few there's quite a few things I want to define. We've actually talked about some of these, but we haven't officially defined them, so I'm going to do that now. For example, variable, like we've talked about variables. I've said it's just a letter, but it's a letter used to represent one or more numbers. And here are common variables that you'll see a lot: x, y, z, l, m, n. Really, any letter in the alphabet can be used as a variable. Okay. And then we also have a term. So whenever you hear me say term, it's either a single number or a variable, or it's numbers and variables multiplied together. Okay, so here, like this is a term, just 4 by itself. Z by itself is a term, or if you take and multiply 9 times x, that's also a term. Or even if you multiply like a combination of numbers and letters, -5 mn, that's also a term. And terms are separated by pluses and minuses. For example, if I had something like this, x plus 5x, this is 2 terms. Okay, that's 2 terms. This is x and that's 5x. So let me lower it. If you need to pause this to copy it, go ahead and pause it. I'm going to lower it. Pay no attention to my wife. And then here we have some more definitions. Coefficient. A coefficient is just the number part of a term with the variable. It's basically the number in front. And then constant. A constant is a number only with no variables. And then I have some examples down here. Like this is a term, this is a term, this is a term. When you have a number by itself, sometimes it's called a constant. In this term, the variable part is the letter. The number in front is called the coefficient. So here again, when you have a term, the letter part is called the variable, and the number in front is called the coefficient. Only when the number is by itself can you call it a constant. And again, these are just different vocabulary terms that I may use. If you guys hear me use them, look back at your notes if you're wondering what I'm talking about. Okay. And then we have like terms. I know Mr. Davis and I have been saying like terms lately. Like terms, those are just terms that have the same variable and exponent. Okay. And you'll see I have some examples here. I have some examples. Like terms, here this is 5 and 2. That's a 2. That's an ugly 2, but it's a 2. It's not a z, okay? Those are like terms because actually they're both constants. They don't have any variables. 4x and 3x, those are also like terms because it has the same letter. And even these ones, xy and -4xy, because it's the exact same letters, they are like terms. Not like terms, here's an example of not like terms. 5x and 2y. Because this is an x and this is a y, they're not like terms. And that matters because in our next section we're going to be combining like terms. Here's another one that's not a like term. 3x and 9x squared. These are not the same because this one has a different exponent than this one. Even though these are x's, x and x squared are not the same. So these are not like terms. And then here's an example, 4x squared y, 7xy squared. Again, these are different because here the x has a 2 for the exponent, and here the x has a 1 for the exponent. Okay. So there's that. So pause it again. I'm going to lower it to get the last example. So here's our last the only example we got. So it says identify the terms, like terms, coefficients, constants for this big long expression here. Okay. Now remember, so I'll give you a second to copy that. But remember, terms are separated by pluses and minuses. So watch, I'm going to circle the terms here. That's a term. That's a term. That's a term. And actually, you know what? This one's also a term. Right? I should have circled the plus with this one, because see how I circled the plus in front. Whatever the sign is that's in front, it pretty much goes with the term. So this plus 1 goes together, this minus 5 goes together, and really this plus 9 goes together like this. 9x, and then the x squared goes together. So if you're thinking of the terms, you have x squared. This one is a positive 9x. And then this one's a minus, because of the minus, put the minus 5x. And then this plus 1, that's just going to be a 1. Okay. So the plus and the minus, it actually makes this like positive and negative. So those are the terms. And then if we want to find the like terms are the ones that have the exact same letter and variable and exponent. So these two are the like terms. 9x and minus 5x. Those are the ones that are exactly the same. Okay, as far as the letter is concerned. You do not include that one. And then the coefficients are the numbers in front of the letters. So be careful. Here's negative 5x. So I'm going to put negative 5. And then you have 9x, so the 9 is in front. And then be careful with this one, because even though there's not a number there, you got to remember there's always a 1 there. So I'm going to put a 1. So those are the coefficients. And then the constant term is this one that's in the back by itself. Remember, the constant terms are numbers by themselves. And that's it. And we're actually going to do a couple of examples like this today. So remember this, make sure you copy that, and let's get to the assignment.